Hey guys, this is Miss Anderson here, and this presentation is going to talk about the IXL.com website, and I'm going to talk briefly about grammar concepts, okay? Ready? Here we go. Okay guys, so first let's talk a little bit about grammar. So, Miss Anderson, what exactly is grammar? Well guys, grammar is the rules of how a language is spoken and written. Okay? So all languages, even your first language, have a grammar. Okay? All languages have rules that states what is correct and what is not correct, or what is standard and what is not standard when speaking and when writing that language. Okay? And now, as an English language student, you now have to learn the grammar and the rules of the English language, okay? That is your goal, to learn the grammar and the rules of the English language. Okay, so in the classroom, guys, I want you to keep one thing in mind, okay? In the classroom, we are doing two things, or more importantly, you are doing two things. Those two things are, you are learning academics and you are learning language, okay? Now, the students that already speak English in the school, they are not learning language. They've already been taught the English language. Now, they are only learning the academic portion of their education. So therefore, as a language student, you are actually doing twice as much work as the other students, and therefore Ms. Anderson wants you to always remember to be very proud of yourself, okay? Because you are doing very hard work, okay? You are learning a second language, okay? Now, the IXL website is a great website, and it's used for grammar practice, okay? Grammar practice will include topics such as nouns, verbs, adjectives, vocabulary, all of those things that are included in the rules and structure and grammar of the English language, okay? So now I've had a chance to go through the website, and I've changed what we are going to do. So instead of doing the nouns that I had originally gave you to do before we left class, we are now going to do the concepts and the topics that we've already covered in class, okay? All right, so those things that we've covered in class are compound words, homophones, synonyms, and antonyms. We've talked about all four of those things in the classroom, so that's what we're going to practice on IXL.com. Now remember guys, I don't want you to worry about trying to learn everything at once, okay? A better way for you to learn anything is to focus on learning one concept or one idea, or in our case, one topic at a time, okay? So each topic in each of your classes and on the IXL website, each topic is a concept. So I want you to work to understand that concept, okay? And remember, when you need help, get help, okay? Ask your family, ask your friends, ask your peers, reach out to me, get the help that you need when you have a question, because I want to make sure that you understand the concepts. Okay, so let's review. Now, these are only some of the things that we've learned in the classroom, and I'm going to create more videos that's going to review some of the other things that we've talked about in class, okay? But for the purposes of the IXL website and the practice that I want you to do, I want you to focus on these four things, and that's compound words, homophones, synonyms, and antonyms. So let's review those, okay? Okay, so remember what a compound word is? A compound word is made when two words are joined to form a new word. In other words, a compound word is one word that is made up of two words. For example, pop plus corn is popcorn. Okay? Pop is a word. Corn is a word. When we put those two together, we get popcorn. Now, let's look at the other example. Tooth plus brush equals a toothbrush. Okay? That's a brush that we use to brush our teeth. Toothbrush. Some of the other examples we have are backbone, bedroom, nightgown, fireplace. And some of the ones in the class that we talked about were Batman, Spider-Man, mailman, football. All of those guys are compound words. A compound word is simply one word that is made up of two words, okay? One word that is made up of two words. We also talked a lot about homophones. Remember? Homophones are words that have the same sound, but they have different meanings, okay? So they're both spelled differently and they have different meanings. For example, here we have son and son. So the first son is the child of a father, that is his son, and the second son is like that big yellow orange ball in the sky, our sun. And then some of the other examples we have is right and right, see and see, and hair and hair. So remember, guys, now we haven't talked a lot about prefixes, which I think we're going to when we come back from the break. You can define how a word means by breaking it down. So homo means the same, and phone means sound. So the word homophone is a word that has the same sound. Okay? So that's actually an easy way to remember that, is just remembering the two parts of the word. Homophone, the same sound. We also talked about synonyms. A synonym, guys, is two words that have the same meaning. So two words that have the same meaning. For example, big and huge. Okay, those are two words that mean the same thing. Loud and noisy, little and small, good and great, mad and angry, yell and scream, happy and glad. Remember, all of those words are two words that have almost the same meaning. So why is this important? Remember, guys, when you are writing your writing in class, we are writing your narratives or your poem or your short story, whatever type of writing that you're doing, guys, you want to make sure that you use synonyms, that you use compound words, that you use antonyms in your writing, so that it makes your writing very, very descriptive. It makes your writing come alive. It makes the reader interested and engaging. It makes your writing pop. It gives your writing flair. It shows your voice. It shows that you understand words and how to make the reader feel those words, okay? So that's the purpose of learning what a synonym is, or what a compound word is, or what a homophone is so that when you are speaking, and especially when you are writing, you can use these type of words to your advantage, okay? And when you do that, it makes your speaking and your writing so much better, okay? Okay, now an antonym, guys, remember, is just the opposite of a synonym. So a synonym is a word that has the same meaning, two words that have the same meaning. So an antonym is two words that have the opposite meaning. So those are two words that mean the opposite from each other. For example, dirty and clean, happy and sad, wet and dry. So if I were writing a piece of writing and I needed to show my reader an example of something that was opposite, then I would use an antonym in my writing. I would first talk about something that is happy, and then I would talk about something that is sad. So my reader would be able to see I'm using those words that are antonym and that have the opposite meaning, okay? Okay, guys, so that is the end of this video. I like to keep the videos nice and short so you're not listening to one video all day. That's a little boring to me, and I want it to just be quick and easy for you, okay? So thank you very much for listening and watching this video. Now, going back to IXL, I want you to log back in, go to the language arts, then to topics, then to vocabulary. Okay, so that's a change, whereas what I told you in class was for you guys to go to the nouns topic. Now I want you to go to the vocabulary topic, okay? Now, under the vocabulary, there are some specific activities that I want you to do first, okay? So I want you to do the ones that say BB.1, 2, 3, and then the CC.1, 2, and 3, and then the DD that you see here, and the EE, okay? I want you to do those first because those topics correlate or will practice what we've already talked about, those 4 things that we just finished talking about: compound words, antonyms, synonyms, and homophones. Okay, so these activities will help you practice in learning and understanding those 4 concepts. Okay, now if you finish those, if you are one of my awesome students and you finish those, all of those, then you are free to do any of the other topics that you like. Okay, and remember, all of the work that you do, I get a report, so I'm able to see exactly what topics you've worked on and what you have mastered. And so, as always, I reward those who do a great job, okay? So, I am giving iCare bucks to all of those that complete all of the practice questions, okay? And if you go above and beyond that, of course, you get more iCare bucks, okay? All right, guys, so have fun. If you have any questions, please reach out to your parents or your friends or whomever is in your house. Also, I encourage you to reach out to your peers and your classmates. Call them on the phone, text them, reach out to them on Facebook, any way that you can communicate with them, even by going over to their houses, okay? This will be a great activity to do together with your classmates, okay? And also, if you have any questions, I'm always on Edmodo. Well, not always, but if you put a question in Edmodo, I will try to answer it as soon as I can, okay? All right, guys, talk to you soon. Bye.